Good evening, everybody. First of all, let me thank the artists who drew those pictures, around 60 pictures there. Congratulations to Jaren, Rupak, Vinay and Vinny. You've done a good work. Made me think. It is actually a cross-section of our culture, society, our political system, and many more things that are always in front of our eyes, but we never care little as much to think what is behind it. I was saying yesterday in one of those rounds that we are all rat killers. We just kill the rat. We never kill the reason why the rat is there. That is how we see things. We don't see things where it comes from, where it starts from. For example, our habits. We have a lot of habits like overspending or even too much saving. All these are wrong. You have a percentage of spending and a percentage of saving that has to be kept. People are overcautious of things. When they come to moral policing, nowadays it's too much. People can't, a girl and a boy can't walk together, but they can do all the other activities like terrorism, war and all those things, and people will not open their mouth. Now what is happening here? People who are staying here, of course all of you know about the Mullaperiyar issue. The Supreme Court has given up on us. And they are saying 136 feet, it's enough. We'll not go below it, we'll not go above it. But do we know for real the original fact? Will the dam break? Is it strong enough? We hope, God forbid, the dam doesn't break. But are we taking precautionary measures? That's where we are wrong. We are talking without any solutions. That is exactly where we are wrong. I would say as potential future managers who are sitting in front of me, please join the cause. Ask people to think. For once, use your brains. Don't use your tongue too much. You can raise emotions like this, but if you keep on doing that, what's the use? I keep on seeing people telling that Mullaperiyar 136 feet, 136 feet. Well, what is the big? We know it is 136 feet, and it can take around 150 feet. It was built for 150 feet. Now you can take about 140 feet and all this. You all know these numbers. But what is the real problem there? That doesn't reach you. You are cut off. The reality never reaches you. There are a lot of changes that has happened to our culture these days. We don't talk to people these days. Everybody sitting here is familiar with Facebook, isn't it? Are you familiar with Facebook? Yes. Good. But there is a problem behind that also. I am not finding fault with everything, but I would say over usage of Facebook. I know friends who will sit in front of the Facebook for hours together without even taking their dinner, lunch, nothing. Why is that happening? Do you enjoy virtual friends more than people who can in blood and flesh talking to you? I think we have to talk. It was a very interesting fact. While I was walking outside the college campus, I saw a small hut-like store. The storekeeper's name is Babu. He was talking much more informative politics than the radio. Believe me, he was talking informative politics than radio. That is how interactions are. And of course, I have to spend a lot of time with him so that everything comes out. We have to take people important. Each and every one of you sitting here is important. And therefore, what will happen to you, what might happen to you, is in your hand. If we stand together and think in a rational way, rather than going behind the media news, you know the media news, okay, this is happening, Mullaperiyar 3, what do you say, richer scale, and the whole world is shaking. No? How many people actually know that the richer scale works on a geometric progression and not on an arithmetic progression? We don't know. How many of you know that? None? Just one? There was around 60 photos there. And at the end, they have written a statement there. Damned. Half of it dipped into Mullaperiyar Dam. That's exactly right. All those 60 photos and 360 seconds we had a 360-degree view about the things that happened before us for years together. I'm sorry, my time is running out. I would prefer you ask questions. Thanks.
Hey, why, just a question. Were you using your tongue more or a brain more?
I use my tongue and brain at the same time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. See, how many pictures were you talking about in that place?
Around 60.
Around 60. So how many points you think that you have covered here now?
There were things like, I've covered only like...
Numbers.
Numbers? Numbers? Around 6.
Around 6?
Yeah.
Yeah. So finally, what was it that you were saying? Is India actually leaking or not?
India is actually leaking.
India is leaking?
Yeah, from the outer to the inner. That is what I believe in. Because if things were leaking out, who cares? But if things are leaking in, and those are wrong informations, that is meant for us to move in a particular direction that other people or other powers...
Can you be more specific, please?
Excuse me?
Can you be more specific?
I can be more specific. It's very simple. World over the...
Give me 2 examples of internal leaking.
Internal leaking. People will tell you that there is these terrorist attacks happening all over the world and terrorists are dangerous, and at the same time keep from our notice that these terrorists were actually trained by America. I'm telling you about America. Let me be very plain there. Americans actually tell us that there is terrorists and you should fear them and all those things. But that is what happens if some of the rebels happen to be in our country. They should be also called terrorists. They are called rebels and the others are called terrorists.
So
just to sell that ammunition.
For you, the external world is predominantly America.
External world is not predominantly America. My friend was telling yesterday that you are always missing the French part. They are also doing their work in their side, but their language is not English, so we don't understand that. Very simple.
So do you intend to stay in India or go abroad after your MBA?
I was abroad, 3 years abroad. Now I intend
Do you intend to stay in India or
India.
abroad? India?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi Rahul.
Hi sir.
Very impressive resume.
Thank you sir.
Mechanical engineer by profession.
Yes,
And first of all, let me ask you, many techies turning to do MBAs. Any particular reason for you doing your MBA course after BE in mechanical engineering?
Yes sir. There is a particular reason because I wanted to do MBA at the first time when I finished my engineering. I wanted to do it as soon as possible. But my dad was telling me that is not how it is done. I don't want another stupid manager to come here. If you know things, I know as you are my son, you are not knowing anything.
Are you looking at these students and saying this?
No. This is what my dad told me.
Okay.
He told me, according to him, I am a stupid guy who doesn't know much things about the world. So he wanted me to go learn something from the outside world. Every time he did this, when I was studying in Loyola, the schooling, which was a very prestigious institution, and it was completely away from the city. He wanted me intentionally to join the government school, which is completely different just because of the freedom factor. The quality of education is great there.
Okay.
The freedom factor was too much. And yes, I should say I was also corrupted a little bit. But in the main course, I've learned a lot of things. So I always follow my dad's way of going out.
So let me interfere. And how much, in your view, can an MBA classroom can teach a student? And what is the limit? And if there is no limit, tell me that.
There is a vessel. You need a vessel to carry water. MBA will help you make that vessel. Carrying water, you have to go outside. That's all I think.
And coming back to the first few remarks you made, India leaking.
Okay.
Tell me what we actually lacks here in India, whether the absence of a good manager or a good leader. In your view, what is that one thing which we lack here? Is that the absence of a good leader or a good manager to run this country?
We have great leaders. We have great leaders. I have to agree that.
How do you differentiate good leaders or great leaders from managers?
Okay. In a war, this is my perspective. I'm not taking anything. My perspective, in a war, there are two sides. if you are on this side, you think the other side is evil. And if you're on the other side, they think that this side is evil. A person, a little helping hand, if you think you want to. If you don't, don't.
CSR is more or less marketing tool nowadays. It's not
Exactly. I agree with you there, sir. Because
it's
I
a
was...
hidden marketing tool.
Yes, sir. I agree with you there because my uncle, he had died of lung cancer. He was a great personality, but the same time when he was smoking the cigarettes, I used to look at the brand of the cigarettes and it said ITC. And I think it's around 2-3 months before I saw a full page cover of ITC's advertisement saying "Go Green." So that is completely different. They are using it as a tool. That's what I believe.
Okay, good.
Hi Rahul.
Hi, sir.
Which is your favorite brand?
Brand
Brand.
in cigarettes or liquor
Total.
altogether.
Yeah.
My favorite brand is Marlboro.
Why?
Marlboro because it gives me that effect.
What effect?
The nicotine kick. The nicotine kick that I require sometimes when I'm overstressed and all. I'm not a continuous smoker, but I do smoke because that is there. I can't find an alternative until now. I'm still on the course of finding an alternative, and once I find an alternative, cigarette is off.
And it is mentioned that you will write poems.
Yes, sir.
In which language?
I have written poems in Malayalam.
Malayalam.
Yes, sir.
So can
And the one I wrote just like that in when I was the magazine committee editor. I just took up a lot of poems coming those times are all about love. So some things were boring when you have to differentiate. Actually, things had hit my mind and I started writing on myself a poem. That's one poem, and the other poem I wrote out of grief when my brother died in a bike
Can you
accident.
recite one, please?
Yes.
Can you recite one of those, please?
Okay. Okay, I will recite the poem which I wrote when I was a magazine committee. Just a few words. That's it. This should be awkward. You can howl if you want. Okay. കിന്നരിപ്രാവുകൾ ചിറകടിച്ചുയരുന്ന മനസ്സിന്റെ ഏകാന്ത നിലവറയിൽ പൊൻതിടം പേറുന്ന സൂര്യനെ വെല്ലുന്ന സൗന്ദര്യധാമമേ നിന്നെ ഓർത്താൽ 1000 കനവുകൾ മനസ്സിന്റെ ഉള്ളിലായി അലയടിച്ചുയരുന്നത് എന്തുകൊണ്ട്?
ഈ പോയം ആലോചിച്ചെഴുതാണോ ഒരു മിനിറ്റ് കൊണ്ട് വന്നാണോ?
അന്ന് എഴുതിരുന്നാണ്. I can show you the hard copy. I have it.
No, I am asking, you got it within 1 minute കൊണ്ട് ചെയ്തതാണോ അതോ ആലോചിച്ചിട്ടും ചെയ്തതാണോ പോയം?
It just comes out. With a lot of spelling mistakes, it comes out, and every time I rewrite and make it correct.
Okay.
Who is that Kinnari Prava? Can you share it?
Kinnari Prava is around here. That's all I can say.
Even dangerous. It's even dangerous.
Okay, Rahul, as a manager,
Yeah.
what do you think the key differentiating behavior or attribute for a great manager? Give me one, because I think you speak a lot, you speak well, but give me one, be precise.
Okay. Just one.
Yeah.
Managers don't do things just for.
Key differentiating factor for a great manager from a good manager.
Great manager from a good manager.
There's
Think.
no right or wrong. For you, what is it?
Think.
To think?
Yeah.
Me?
No. That is the key factor.
Think and do what?
Because think and do what means most of the managers listen to their senior managers who listen to some other MD.
Okay, then my question comes. The second
Okay.
question is this. So you think thinking is the key factor that would differentiate a great manager, right?
Yeah.
So when you're supposed to take a strategic decision, you are left with two options. One, to go ahead with the data backed with the informations. Second, to think and be intuitive, to go with your intuition. Which one would you choose?
There is a set of data in front of me,
Yeah.
and I can otherwise take a decision
Based on the intuition.
based on my intuitions.
Where you think your thought process and you feel that no, the data might not actually work in this particular situation. It's
Okay.
the other one.
In such kind of situations, what I'll do is only data that comes from believable sources we have to trust. We have to trust. There is no other point without trusting.
That's
So,
the data that the organization has given, so it is a believable source.
no, you can't say that. You can't say that. Never.
It is, okay, I'm telling you, it is a believable source. The data is facts, numbers, figures of the last year's sales.
Okay.
It can't be wrong.
Okay.
Because of XYZ activities, these are the sales numbers that has happened.
I will go with the figures.
You will go with the figures.
Sure.
So you're not creative.
No.
So
Figures.
thinking is not the right
Creating
thing.
figures is you end up in jail like S.A. Raja.
No. Intuition is something different.
Yeah.
Intuition is something different. If
Okay.
you go creative, if you go by rationality, then you cannot be creative or you cannot be intuition.
But that is like I'm telling that around 100 people are
Rahul,
wrong.
you've got data, numbers of sales, so it can't be wrong.
If all these CEOs, especially Steve Jobs, had he gone by these figures, all this market data, he would never have reached, he would never have taken Apple to this position. Intuition is a very important element, I believe.
Okay.
Rahul, my last question, I'm so sorry, sir. Two things. You said intuition, you said thinking, and then you said you'll go with data. So if I need to give you two very famous personality, a Steve Jobs and a Steve Wozniak, who will be your role model as a manager?
Second person is
Steve Wozniak,
Steve Wozniak.
Co-founder.
co-founder
Co-founder.
of Apple with Steve Jobs.
Who would be a better manager?
Yeah. No, who would be a role model as a manager?
These are the only choices I have. Either take it or leave it. Is it?
Or you can have more choice. If you're
I-
not very familiar with Steve Wozniak, you can choose somebody.
I would always go with Tata
Why?
because of his diversification and his corporate responsibilities.
Do you think that Tata, whoever the right person was, took a decision, he went only with data?
No. He has not. See, the question you have asked was, this is the condition. You have been given with a believable data.
Yeah.
Will you go with your intuition
I
or
gave
the
you
data?
the data too. It was sales numbers of the last few years.
The sales numbers are accurate.
Yeah, it is accurate.
So why should I go with my intuitions if the sales numbers are accurate?
Intuition to go ahead.
See, my basic job is to analyze this. If I'm a manager, my basic job is to analyze these figures and come out with an answer, right? Intuition is coming with a creative thing to cover all this up. That's what I. Thank you.
Now it's the audience round.
Thank you, Rahul.
Audience?
Audience questions. So everyone is scared of the person who's on the stage. Is that what does?
Wow.
Well, I don't think so. Any DCNs here? You want to ask any question?
Hi.
Hi.
You said so like your uncle had lung cancer, right? He was
Yeah.
smoking cigarette.
Yes.
And then you are smoking cigarette, Marlboro brand, right?
Yes.
Is it good? Then you are talking about social corporate responsibility for ITC.
Yeah.
How does it
Let me complete that. My brother also died in an accident, but I still drive a bike.
Yeah, but you said first for ITC as a social corporate responsibility. Driving does like it's
No.
our own thing. We need to drive, so we drive. Don't nobody force you to drive.
Nobody is forcing me to smoke cigarette also.
Yeah,
It's
but
out of my
still you
own
are
thought.
doing-
See, I want to give you a precise answer on this. There is another thing to it. I have read in this one government journal, okay, I don't remember the name. Jawaharlal Nehru has given the right to some tribal people for smoking ganja. The only people who have the right to smoke ganja in India legally are those tribal people. And they die at the age of 120 or something like that. So, cigarette smoking is not completely unhealthy, but if you practice in the wrong way, then it can be unhealthy.
നല്ല കവിയാണ് മാനേജർ എന്ന ടോപ്പിക് തരാം അതിനെ കുറിച്ചൊരു 4 വരി
Manager in that.
മലയാളത്തിൽ
I'm just getting this thing. What do you say? ആരാണീ മാനേജർ ഉത്തരവാദിത്വത്തിന്റെ കല്ലുകൾ കുത്തിയടുക്കി ഉണ്ടാക്കിയൊരു വൻമതിലോ, അതോ മിഥ്യയോ അതോ സത്യമോ, നമ്മുടെ ഉള്ളിൽ മരിച്ചു ജീവിക്കുന്ന ആത്മാവാണോ മാനേജർ?
Good evening.
Good evening.
You were talking about the Mullaperiyar issues.
Mullaperiyar,
That people much talk about that, but we're not finding any solutions.
Yeah.
As Ms. said that you talk well. What have you done or find any solution for Mullaperiyar issue?
My friend, they have kept some age regulations for getting into politics, and if I become a politician one day, that would be with experience. I should know what this dam is. I should know if this dam would stand. Then I would be the minister who decides on the dam.
Then it's all about that we should also stop thinking. Then we should also have some politicals. Then also start we give the solution for that particular thing.
Rahul, do you think only a politician can find a solution to this?
No, not exactly. The
Is
word
it something
politics.
that you can do as a MBA student?
Ma'am, let me tell you, I have a friend.
I'm just putting that question across. I don't want an answer.
No, because the word politics has been misunderstood. We see people with white shirt and white dhoti as politicians, but there are people who are managers and they involve in politics. They actually become ministers sometimes. They become people who help the political parties. So politics is not a word that is associated with
My
white
question
people.
was, do you actually need to be a politician to do something about the Mullaperiyar?
I didn't understand.
My question was only this. Do
Yes,
you actually
in our
need to
democratic system, which is the biggest in the world and the best in the world, politicians, the people.
do you need to be a politician to do something about this Mullaperiyar, as he was asking?
I think so, because they are the only people who can influence the crowd. The others are not seen outside.
I beg to differ.
Ma'am, please propose a name who can change this Mullaperiyar issue.
I'm not answering it, but there are a lot of ways with a new information system. The
Ma'am, the
Twitters,
same
the
thing.
Facebooks.
I would like to change the topic back to Kudangulam. Kudangulam, our old former president, Mr. Abdul Kalam, came himself and said there is no problem with this. When he was not a politician, he's out. He's out of the political scenario. He is out, and he is helping with the research and development. And he came and said people won't believe. That's the situation here. If somebody like Jayalalitha would come and say tomorrow that Kudangulam is okay, people will come and help with the works in Kudangulam. That's the situation here.
Rahul, you can't rule out things like that. You just think about Anna Hazare and Kejriwal all involved in that movement. They are not politicians. Many of them, Kiran Bedi, they are
Sir,
not politicians. Bureaucrats.
Everybody started with a clean slate, sir.
Just for the argument's sake, you can do that. I mean, you can say that. But I don't think it is correct. I mean, not politicians. Everybody has to. Even an MBA student has to do something in this.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Before that, I want to make a point. Do you remember about Egypt issues? With the time of Mubarak regime, there was a Google member who started the revolution.
Very vague. Yeah, please go on.
So was he the political member?
What?
He was a political member for starting the revolution. You said that only a political leader can do or bring a solution for the issues.
My dear friend, Egypt is not a part of India.
Why can't it be? Why can't you try rather than
Put Egypt in India?
no, just
Pick like this, put it in India?
not picking like this.
It's not possible. India is a place where you have the best democratic system ever, and it will have its problem. You have to run 100 years to solve those problems. In the meanwhile, you should put your block in the place, your brick on the place, your mortar on the place. It will get built up. I assure you.
Vinay of DC.
Hi. Okay, did you see all those drawings really close?
Yes, I tried to.
Okay, did you see that danger signal or the tops of the bottom side?
Yeah, I was asking somebody and said, hell is here.
No, the danger signal. I mean,
The skull and the
here.
bones, yeah.
Do you know what actually we meant that when meant that?
With the bitter gourd still smelling in my mouth, I thought it is hell is here.
No.
No?
The symbol was like the danger signal and the written like here and a down arrow.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a big kuri on the stage, so please don't go there. That's what I meant.
Thanks.
Thank you. So next,